Hello and welcome back to the SUTV show. Well, after the international break, the Blades are back in action this weekend as we welcome Fulham to the lane. But Carl, first, let's go back to our previous game, which is 3 weeks ago this Saturday. Bournemouth, a draw. Positive.
Yeah, well, it's positive. It was a really good game. The manager made a number of changes, some bolder changes, and the boys performed. You know, it started off well. Bournemouth had good results, and obviously they're playing at home and very confident. But we weathered the storm, and then they got a penalty. We're all fearing the worst, but thankfully, Solanke managed to kick it onto his left foot and over the bar. And then the boys went, strength to strength. A really good first goal we scored. Great work in the midfield. I think it was Tom Davis driving through, found Bogle, who hit an incredible strike, across the keeper, who parried it. And Gus just thumped it in, really good finish into the top corner. We went on again. We got the second goal, which... Robbo, it was wonderful. Any striker would have been proud of that.
No, absolutely. And a milestone for him as well, because that is actually his first ever Premier League goal, and I really think he deserves that.
Oh,
Robbo.
Of course. His performances, the fans, they're all been so proud of how he's performed this season. And for me, that the actual goal was a wonderful goal. The way he reacted, he was quicker than anyone. And the technique, it wasn't an easy goal. He's falling backwards. He's managed to keep his body over the ball, struck through it well, and thoroughly deserved and great scenes. He's captain. He was captain. He's gone over to the away fans who were just, it was such a great moment.
No, he's ecstatic. And talking about another milestone as well, our blaster as well with his first Premier League start. A great game for him
He
as well.
played really well. I thought the midfield, they really dogged about. They were getting all the little bits. They didn't allow Bournemouth, they play really good football, but our midfield worked so hard. They unsettled them. And whenever a second ball, it seemed to be going to one of our shirts. So full credit to the midfield. And our blaster, he looked so comfortable there. He looked, since he's come back from Port Vale, he looks really lean and fit. And there were moments he won the ball. I think it led up to the corner for Robinson's goal. And he didn't just look to pass it off. He drove through 3 of their players, and he was so unfortunate not to score. A really good strike across the keeper. And, I think everybody is really excited to watch this boy progress. He's really great Premiership start.
And talking about that starting 11 as well, we had Baldock, we saw come back, and Diaz as well.
Yeah, Diaz he's been outstanding, hasn't he, since he's come. Whenever he's been in the team and he's always added something. And Baldock is the Blades' DNA, isn't he? There's going to be a number of changes in the summer, and you hope we get people with his heart, his desire, his ability and everything else is incredible. But, the DNA is what all the Blades fans want. Baldock is just, he never lets you down.
And one of them Bournemouth goals did come off a set piece as well. He had a free header for that. But do you think they've been working on that in this international break a bit more?
Well, they worked their socks off. We've conceded so many goals from crosses this season. It's a very tough league, and you're playing against outstanding opposition. But week in, week out, the boys are working. They're not, accepting it. They're trying to improve. The manager and the coaches will be trying to address things, and it takes time, and hopefully things will improve. But they are working their socks off.
Well, speaking about development from the under-21st team with our blaster, and let's catch up with one of the under-21s team now. Well, joining us now is Louie Marsh. Louie, thank you for coming on SUTV. So the under-21s, they're third in the Premier League Development League. How's it going so far this season for you guys?
Yeah, good. Obviously, we've got a good group of boys here. I think everyone's quite a close, tight-knit group, and everyone knows each other very well. We associate with each other outside of football, so we're not just a group what associates with ourselves here. So we've got a young squad as well. A lot of under-18s playing, but I think that's just what United's about, really, pushing the youngsters, and yeah.
And obviously yourself as well, you're on the bench against City. Yeah. How was that for you? I know you didn't come on, but how was that for you just to be around the first team and get that experience?
Yeah, special, to be fair. Probably best team in the world, I'd say, in my opinion. I think just being in the bench in the Premier League as well is a big achievement for me. But yeah, obviously not the result we wanted, but yeah, a special achievement for me, yeah.
And getting to play at Bramall Lane as well, how is that for you guys to get used to the stadium and the pitches like this?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Obviously, I've supported United since I was a young kid, so it's quite a dream for me to play here, and every time I play here, I do cherish it every time. So yeah, hopefully looking for something good today.
How's the injury? How are you coming on?
Yeah, fine now. Obviously, I had quite a few tough couple of months, mentally and physically. But I'm back now, and I'm really raring to go. Yeah.
How was it? Because as you say, mentally, you've come back from the arm injury, then you had another one. Really tough.
Yeah, it messed me up a little bit. But I think there's no rough right the smooth, is there? So I'm quite not in a bad place, but this is a great club to be around. When you're injured. So, like I said, all the lads there were brilliant with me, all the staff, coaches. But yeah, like I said, I'm back now.
So you're raring to go. What did you think about your game when you're out and you're injured? There's bits that you want to improve. So what should we see first half today? What are you looking to do?
Oh, well, excitement. Me definitely playing with a smile on my face, because I think when you're out injured, you don't appreciate it as much as you do.
So if you play well, what will you have done in a game? Will you have driven past people? Will you have linked it up? What's a good game?
Yeah, that's my style of play, really. Take it on the half turn. I like to score goals. Obviously, I think what me and a few of the coaches said this season, I think I can get top goal scorer this season. And obviously I've been out for about 5 months now, so I think that's my goal. I've got to set it high. So yeah.
Well, I saw it pre-season. The way you keep showing yourself for the ball, you've got so much confidence. You drop deep, and you're always an outlet. So the midfielders must love you. And who did you watch as a youngster? Who was the sort of the striker that you really thought, I want to play like that?
Yeah, I'd say strikerish, but David Brooks for me probably.
Wow.
Probably a player I didn't look up to, but I like to style myself around. Obviously he's flying now as well, so hopefully I can.
Oh well, big boots to fill, but what a thing to drive at, because an incredible blade. He's done well in his career. So, good luck, my friend.
Yeah. And you guys are also through to the quarterfinals as well of the Premier League Cup as well. Yeah. A 5-1 win over Swansea City recently, and then I think you've got Forest here next. What's your hopes going into that one as well?
Confidence, I think, for the lads. Like I said, we've got a good group here, and I think we're capable of beating them. And I think it'd also be a special achievement for the club as well, because I think obviously we're a Cat 2 team, and I think there's all Cat 1s left in it now. So yeah, like I said, we've got a good group here, and I think we can do well.
And when you see players as well like Sam Curtis getting a call up to the international team, I mean, obviously people are looking at Sheffield United for them international call-ups. Is that one of your hopes in the future?
100%, yeah. I did say this, but we've got a great squad here. Blaster, Sam, who's obviously coming, and I think he's brilliant. To be fair, he's a good lad as well. So I think he's slotted very nicely into Sheffield United Football Club. But yeah, like you said, I think that's everyone's goal to play for England. But I think it's definitely a big achievement if I could do that, and I think I'm capable as well of doing it.
And what is next for you and the under-21s team?
I think what's next for me is getting up with the first team as much as I can and showcasing what I've got. Really, obviously there's a new gaffer coming in. There's a lot of changes, but I think myself and my ability, I think I'm capable of doing it. Yeah.
Louie, thank you so much for joining us here on SUTV.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you.
So Fulham then, Carl. What are you expecting from this one?
It's a really tough game. They're in great form. They've had some really good wins. Obviously, last weekend they smashed Tottenham, and they'll be full of confidence. The away fixture for us, I found it was a difficult day as it was, but I felt the way we set up and the way we approached the game, we played into their hands. So I'm expecting the manager and the team to set up a different way to cause them problems. But as you say, they're a very good outfit.
And I know we were talking just off camera, obviously, about Basham, and unfortunately what happened to Basham in this last game that we played against Fulham. But one Fulham player that you're expecting to get a good impact as he comes out. I've
seen loads on social media, and rightly so, about Tim Ream. The way his compassion for Bash when he was in the worst of moments. Basher spoke about it himself, and I'm expecting him to get an outstanding round of applause and respect from the Blades fans, because it was the height of competition, but he had the compassion. Two young men trying their hardest, and he was just there to help. So it's wonderful, and I hope Tim Ream gets a rousing applause and thanks for the way he looked after one of ours.
And obviously Fulham themselves did have a bit of a rougher start to this season, to this year, but they are back on form now.
Yeah,
beating some big teams.
They've beaten some big teams, but they've spent a lot of money. You know, they've got some great players in there, and it's just, again, it's the Premiership. You know, you get a number of years in the Premiership. They've only been there, this is their second year now, but they've spent wisely. They've got great young players coming through, and it's something that we've got to hope to emulate. You see how they've done it. It's been difficult this year, but if we get back, it's what we want to try and achieve, because they're a very exciting team to watch. They play good football. They've got a good manager, and you know, it's going to be a tough game.
And obviously, both teams coming back from quite a few international call-ups. They've got 16 that have been called up, and we've got 9 ourselves. What we're hoping that players, obviously, we don't want anyone to come back injured. I know you called me the Grim Reaper last time, speaking about injuries, but.
Yeah. No,
you know,
no, Alice, you can't want all 16 of their players not to come back. You just want our team to come back with a full bill of health. You know, we spoke earlier about the manager had to make substitutions against Bournemouth due to minutes in legs. You're hoping that the fitness is there, that the manager is able to play the players on performances for 90 minutes if needed. You know, make changes if their performances dip, not being told by a sports scientist that he's maxed out on his minutes, because that must be so disappointing and disheartening for the manager and the coaches when you've got key players that are not able to play 90 minutes. You know, but that's the modern game. We hear it so much now. Gosh knows what the physios would have done with me in my day, because I was always on the red when I started. So no, it's a frustrating side, but I just hope all our players come back fully fit and eager, and we have the competition. They're playing at Bramall Lane. You know, we've had some tricky performances here. Want to put things right and to give the fans something to cheer for, because, you know, there's still lots to play for this season.
And obviously we've got the lads as well that have got more time as well to train during this gap. What are you hoping that we're working on a bit more during training? Now they've got that time.
Well, they work. You know, we've seen there's a pattern of play. There's an understanding of tactics, and just to develop it, you know, things improve over time, and you can elaborate and develop tactics over time. And you're just hoping the manager and the coaches are understanding how to lock more from players' potentials, and the young lads just develop. You know, it's great that they've got time to work on it, especially after they've had a positive result. So if they would have lost the Bournemouth match, this would have been the longest 2-3 weeks ever. But there was positives in that match, and we were unlucky not to get 3 points. So they'll all be excited to get in the team and try and stake a claim to start and to put in the performance. It's a Premier League. It's exciting.
And from your own career as well, having those international gaps, what would you?
Well, I had lots of holidays. You know, I used to ring Nigeria and say, "Look, I'm still available," and I say, "Yeah, okay, call this number," and it just was always dead. No, it's good. You get time to regroup and to, you know, your own little things. You know, niggles that sometimes you don't tell the physios, which you want to keep to yourself, or if you feel your fitness is dropping, you want to work on it yourself. So the boys will be able to work on their own individual things. The strikers do their shooting. It's good time, you know, because game to game, especially if you're going through a sticky patch, it's hard to get out of it. If you can have a few weeks or a week or so to work on your technique and to get your confidence back, it can really help you. So I'm hoping any boys who were feeling that their confidence was down have been able to work on these things in training and come back. You know, a bit of time, you know, gives you a bit of a mental lift.
And obviously we haven't won at the Lane at home for 6 games now. What are you hoping, and what do we need to do to secure a win from Fulham?
Well, you can play, we've said this, you can play your best game and still lose in the Premiership. I want to see, you know, just a solid performance, not gung-ho. The manager said, you know, we're going to go about things not necessarily the gung-ho way. We all want to be in their faces and front foot, but sometimes you have to stay in a game to get more out of the game. And I just hope we see a structure, a solidity, and, you know, the boys, when they've got the ball, they're so good. You know, I hope when we're out of possession, we can be as good as we were against Bournemouth, because when we have the ball, we can open up any team. Technically, our players are really good. So I just hope the tactical nous and the strength in the formation is, you know, it's there, because the fans need something. You know, it's all right us saying we need the Bramall Lane atmosphere. You've got to give the fans something to to ignite with. The manager knows this, the players know this, so Robbo tackle normally does it, something to fire them up, or a shot. Just needs to get everyone ignited, because this place, we're going to need that atmosphere.
No, absolutely. Well, thanks, Carl. And that's all we've got time for today on this episode. But please do join Carl and Richard pitchside at the weekend, as they will discuss all that's happened before the game and everything during and after, and you'll be able to watch that on X. We'll see you then.